Welcome to the Michigan Golfer Show. Join us each week as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great game.
Nearly 70 million people play golf. 90% of them have never broken 100. Less than 1% are scratch. And as for having the skills to play on tour, forget it. The odds are even longer. Ability alone is no guarantee for success. There are many obstacles: money, time, family, or just the nerve to risk it all. For every success story, there are countless other golfers toiling in relative obscurity, searching for their break. The Big Break is a chance of a lifetime. The winner will earn exemptions to play in 4 professional events to be televised on the Golf Channel. A chance to compete for large purses and certainly gain some worldwide exposure. But it will not be easy. Through a series of skills challenges, the competitors will be asked to hit all the shots they will need to make it on tour. Troubleshooter Rick Smith will be on hand to help, but if one golfer performs poorly, they're gone.
We're here with Rick Smith at the Strixon booth at the PGA Show, and today we're going to be talking about the series of The Big Break, the first golf reality television show hosted on the networks. It was successful in not only attracting a huge golfing television audience, but also it hit the non-golfing television viewers as well. So can you give us any inside information into the show that you hosted this year?
Well, it was a great time. I think, ultimately, even the tour players were talking about it. At the President's Cup, they were talking about how great it was that these people had an opportunity. And these people were just common people that were pretty good players, but had a dream. And I think people relate very well to that kind of a thing. Where in fact, the winner, it was Jason. He ended up putting himself in a position where he had to literally, for entry fees, to play in a mini tour, he used his credit card. He was divorced. He was a single parent, and he's got this little daughter. He didn't have any money. And so that was all the heart of the story. It was exciting that he ended up winning. And I know we're planning on another big break coming up pretty soon here in the fall.
Okay, absolutely. And do you think there's any possibility that you might be hosting a Big Break show for women golfers?
I think the women are really asking for that. I can tell you, it's amazing. They're saying, "How about us?" And I think Golf Channel's looking at that right now.
So the Big Break was hosted at your resort, Treetops, up in Michigan. How has that helped your resort?
Oh, it's been phenomenal. We've tried to expose the resort into some really interesting events, like the par 3 shootout, where Mickelson and Nicklaus and Irwin and Fuzzy and all the different players that have come up there and to play for this kind of a skins game, so to speak, at our par 3 course when we have 81 holes of golf up there. And everybody's known about Treetops. We've made a lot of changes with the hotel and upgraded a lot of things, and we have huge plans for Treetops. And really the Big Break just helped more people to be aware of, hey, I got to go up there. What a pretty place. So it's really helped us nationally, and I think that's what our goal has always been in Michigan, is to really expose people that haven't had the opportunity to go to northern Michigan and see what real beauty is in golf.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rick Smith, and we look forward to seeing you next time on The Big Break.
Hi, I'm Brian Manny with Michigan Golfer, and today's guest is Anthony Sorentino from the Big Break Golf Show. What were some of your strengths compared to some of the other golfers? I know I talked to you off camera, and you thought you were the best golfer there. So tell us a little bit about that.
I thought me and Justin were both good. I kind of had him picked out from the beginning. I had a feeling I'd be 1 or 2. I hit it better than those guys, basically, is the bottom line. Justin hits it good too. 4 or 5 of them didn't really even belong there. I think they were cast more for their characters than their talent. But just overall, just playing golf. I play a lot of golf, so I figured I'd be one of the top couple of kids.
How did some of the contestants get along? It seemed like watching the show that they all got along. Is that true off camera? They got along?
Yeah, we actually got along pretty good. We kind of made a deal with each other not to turn it into like cheesy reality shows where there was no voting off or anything like that, so we didn't have to really worry about it. But just being nice. Golf's a gentleman's game, so we tried to act like gentlemen.
Do you still communicate with any of them? Are you friends with any of them?
I talked to a couple of them. I talked to Justin, the kid who won, and I talked to Charles. He's my buddy, and that's about it.
How much do you think your exposure on that big break helped you to get into the PGA?
Well, I'm not in the PGA. You know, no matter how much exposure you get, you got to be able to play. It's helped me. It's going to help me with on the financial end, getting endorsements, because now, like, I got sponsors exemptions out in California in 2 weeks. I'm probably going to get some more. People, even though I'm not a star, I'll be like, if I'm on Golf Channel, they're going to show me because I was on their TV show. So, like, my hat, like, to wear your hat, like, my agent, it's like $2,500 a week or something to wear a company's hat, or to wear a logo here is this much. You know what I mean? So that helps out huge. Plus, I wanted to get lessons from Dave Ledbetter. He teaches like Nick Faldo and some other guys, and I was able to hook up with like him personally instead of having to go through all of the assistants and stuff, just because, you know, he knows who I am and he'll help me. He sees that I have enough talent where I'm worth working with. So.
Do you know if they're planning on doing a second big break?
Yeah, they're definitely doing another one. I guess it was their best show, so they're gonna do it some more. They're making a lot of money off us, and I'm not making any.
Do you know why that they chose Treetops to do this ad?
I actually, I think because they had Rick, who owns Treetops, and they probably made some kind of nice deal with each other since he's on the teaching staff at Golf Channel.
Anthony, could you tell us a little bit about some of the contests at the big break that you had to go through to compete?
They had the first half of the show was contests for prizes, and it was like you didn't get eliminated. Then the second half of the show was the elimination round, which was more realistic golf stuff. The trick shot, I thought it was garbage. I actually complained about it quite a bit because like I'm good at golf, but I'm not great at. They had one where you're hitting into a car, like a range ball picker, going back and forth. That's stupid as far as I'm concerned. But I won some prizes. I actually ended up winning a few of them, and that was good.
Well, you currently have pro status and you have some sponsorships and stuff, but could you go into a little bit about that and what you being on the big break has brought you?
Mostly to play pro golf. It's like each week costs you like $2,000, basically $1,500, and it's the only sport where if you don't play good, you're not getting paid. If you miss the cut, you don't get paid. So, like, you know, you're out $2,000. You got to have either endorsement deals or sponsors or whatever. So I signed with this company. They've been helping me. Just the connections, you know, it's all about connections. They'll tell you that.
Anthony, during your time at Treetops, what course did you play, and did you have a chance to play all of them?
They kept us on lockdown quite a bit. We played on the Smith. That's where we had the final match. We hung out on the other ones a little bit. We didn't get a chance to play the par 3.
I'd like to thank our guest today, Anthony, and the class at Eastern Michigan University for participating. This is Brian Manning with Michigan Golfer. We'll see you next time.